warthog, the upright-tailed little warrior of the savannah. Morning stretches wide across the grasslands, and a gentle breeze rolls through waves of gold, carrying the first breath of a new day. Between the swaying grass, a small figure appears. Careful, curious, not a lion, not an antelope, just someone most visitors barely notice. The warthog lives quietly on the sidelines of the savannah. While other animals grab attention with speed or raw power, this one stands out for, well, being a little odd. Those thick facial warts, that unusual feeding posture, and the tail that pops straight up like a radio antenna every time it runs. Unremarkable at first glance, but full of surprises once you look closer. It doesn't outrun antelope. It doesn't overpower buffalo. But the warthog survives with a toolkit built on awareness, adaptation, and timing. Every day is a lesson in staying alert, and every step it takes reveals just how much strategy hides behind that rough exterior. Hard bumps on its face aren't tumors. They're thick pads of protective tissue. Armor. Really, its curved tusks, especially in males, are sharp enough to injure predators. And when fights turn physical, the warthog even uses its powerful knees to shove and strike. It may not look elegant, but it's not defenseless either. No animal in the savannah eats quite like a warthog. It drops to its front knees, keeping its body low while pulling up short grasses others can't reach. The skin on its knees is thick and calloused, built for this exact routine. It's not pretty, but it's efficient, and efficiency keeps you alive. warthogs don't dig their own burrows. They recycle. Abandoned aardvark dens become ready-made shelters, and when a warthog enters, it backs in slowly so its head faces the exit. That way, if danger appears, it's already looking straight at it. Prepared. Always prepared. And then, a lioness moves in silence. Soft steps, controlled power. Golden eyes lock onto the warthog. Still kneeling, still eating. The wind shifts. Her scent barely carries. The savannah holds its breath. In a heartbeat, she explodes from the grass. The warthog jolts upright and bolts, tail raised high, zigzagging wildly. The lioness closes the distance with every stride. Caught with its head down, the warthog has no choice but to trust instinct, sharp turns, sudden bursts, pure survival. Then, something unexpected happens. An adult warthog spins around and charges straight at the lioness, tusks forward, face first. The impact halts her momentum just long enough, a small moment, a critical one, and it's enough for the group to reach the burrow. The savannah exhales. Sounds return. Grass rustles again. The warthog resumes feeding, careful not to wander too far. It escaped, but caution never leaves. Out here, calm is always temporary. As the dry season arrives, grass thins, the ground cracks, trees lose their color, food grows scarce. Warthogs must travel farther, and every extra step increases the risk of ambush. Now, every choice carries the weight of life or death. While many animals weaken under the brutal sun, warthogs manage their body temperature surprisingly well. They cool off by wallowing in mud, shielding themselves from heat, sunburn, and parasites all at once. It's messy, but effective, and it helps them endure months without rain. Dawn paints the grasslands gold again. Warthogs kneel low, searching for the last tender shoots. Some females, bellies full and heavy with pregnancy, need more nutrients than ever. But every time they lower their heads, they expose themselves. Predators are always watching. Newborn piglets tremble as they follow their mother's scent to their first meal. She shields them with her body, blocking the sun and unseen eyes. In tall grass, tiny lives are protected by the strongest force in the savannah: instinct. The savannah never offers lasting safety. Even when lions are nowhere in sight, danger lingers. Piglets are easy targets, and every quiet moment could be the beginning of something worse. When warthogs run through tall grass, that raised tail isn't panic, it's communication. A simple signal, one that lets the group stay together. In the vast openness of the savannah, that small detail can decide who lives. Ears swivel, noses test the air, heads lift constantly. Warthog's sense of smell is remarkably sharp. Often, danger is detected long before it arrives. Sometimes, all it takes is one sound, and suddenly, it's running faster than it looks like it should. But vigilance has limits. High above, a leopard waits. Its body dissolves into shadow. Only golden eyes remain. The breeze carries the scent of prey. Perfect stillness. Then, an explosive leap. The warthog darts in zigzags, pushing itself to its limits. It even turns to fight small tusks aimed with pure determination. But this time, the difference is too great. The leopard closes in. The chase ends. Piglets breathe softly, unaware. They don't know what just happened outside, or the silent decision their mother made. Life continues, because something else ended. On the savannah, continuity often grows from absence. When the young finally emerge, there are no longer shadows to hide behind. Each day makes them stronger, faster, sharper. They practice kneeling to feed, freezing at strange sounds. Their posture slowly takes shape. Unintentionally, their digging loosens the soil, allowing seeds to sprout when rains return. Life builds on life. Warthogs aren't architects of the savannah, but they help shape it. They're prey for lions and leopards, yes, but they also keep grasslands open, young and alive, creating corridors where smaller species find refuge. Every individual adds a beat to the savannah's fragile rhythm. The warthog isn't the strongest or the fastest, but it survives through alertness, agility, and determination. A reminder that resilience often belongs to the ones no one expects. Luangwa, the land of giants, one of Africa's last truly wild rivers, winds through the burning heart of Zambia. Along its banks stretch forests, floodplains, swamps, and deep blue lagoons. Here, every breath of wind and every bird call blends into something older, a steady, primal heartbeat. But now it's October, the peak of the dry season. 6 months without rain have turned fertile plains into red dust. Water has retreated from the lagoons, leaving behind cracked mud and brittle leaves under an unforgiving sun. The land seems to pause, waiting for rain that may or may not come. giants appear. African elephants, symbols of strength, memory, and endurance. Each step sends clouds of red dust into the air. Like a rising haze, their movement echoes with quiet authority life continuing, even as the land grows tired. A full-grown elephant can weigh up to 6 tons. That kind of body needs an enormous amount of fuel, so they eat up to 18 hours a day. Leaves, branches, roots torn from dry earth, their trunks over 6 feet long, powered by more than 40,000 muscles, move with the precision of an artist searching for balance in chaos. But the vegetation is running out. Grass is dry. Leaves have lost their nutrients. Only bare branches remain. To survive, elephants eat whatever they can find. Each bite becomes a quiet negotiation between hunger and willpower.
Golden light descends, cleansing the ancient ones.
Scarcity changes everything. Tension moves through the herd. 2 adult bulls equal in size, equal in strength face each other beneath the blazing sun. No sound, just heavy breathing. Then, impact. The collision hits like thunder. Red dust erupts. The ground trembles under the weight of tons of living force. Tusks lock, push, retreat, push again. The clash of ivory echoes through the valley like nature's drums beating out the rhythm of survival. Luangwa holds its breath. Then, slowly, one bull steps back. The winner doesn't roar. He simply stands still, breathing hard, tusks glowing in the late sun. Power and exhaustion share the same space. Victory always has a cost. An elephant can consume up to 300 kilograms of food a day, yet it absorbs less than half of it. The rest, over 130 kilograms, returns to the land as nutrient-rich waste, seeds, minerals, life itself. In nature, nothing is wasted, only transformed. As evening falls, baboons arrive. They sift through elephant droppings, collecting seeds left behind. A strange meal, a valuable one. Later, they carry those seeds across the valley, planting forests without ever meaning to. The elephant is not just a survivor, it's a creator. Every step an elephant takes cracks dry ground, opens paths for water, makes room for new growth. They bridge seasons between drought and rain, hardship and renewal. When everything seems close to collapse, it's these giants who keep the world moving. Because in Africa, even in adversity, life always finds a way to sing. And with each slow, deliberate step, elephants write a quiet anthem of rebirth. But in this harsh land, not everyone survives by force alone. Some choose another path, one of height, grace, and calm. Because even in the harshest places, life doesn't rely on a single strategy. While elephants dig into the cracked earth, another creature chooses a different solution. One that doesn't compete for what's below, but reaches for what's above. As elephants bend toward the ground, searching for anything edible, the giraffe rises instead, quietly lifting her long neck toward the treetops, places no other land animal can reach. Standing over 14 feet tall, with the longest neck in the animal kingdom, she looks less like a grazer and more like a living bridge between earth and sky. While others fight over roots and fallen leaves, she feeds on sunlight made solid, her tongue stretching up to 22 inches. Along with thick, flexible lips, plucks leaves from thorny branches with remarkable precision. Acacias, sausage trees, nothing up there is truly out of reach. Every slow stretch of her neck is the result of millions of years of evolution. Refined, balanced, efficient, but perfection always comes with trade-offs. With a neck over 6 feet long, grooming herself is challenging, a small inconvenience,
symbiosis.
except under the relentless sun of the savannah, where parasites thrive. And that's when help arrives. The doctors of the savannah, oxpeckers, tiny birds that land gently on her back, then move along her neck and around her massive ears, patiently searching for ticks hidden in thick, sun-warmed skin. Their sharp calls echo across the midday heat. Part cleaning service, part early warning system. Each peck removes a parasite. Each chirp alerts of danger nearby. One finds relief, the other finds a meal. A silent agreement that has lasted for millions of years. This is how Luangwa sustains life, through invisible connections between creatures that seem, at first glance, unrelated. From a tiny bite on a giraffe's skin to the flutter of small wings, every action links to the next. A quiet symphony of balance. And this kind of partnership doesn't end here. Luangwa survives on invisible bonds, and those bonds don't belong only to giraffes. Down on the plains, another alliance moves through the heat: African buffalo. As the sun bakes the earth, the herds drift toward the river. Water is low now, exposing cracked mud and dry banks. Buffalo may be smaller than elephants. Most weigh under a ton, but their true strength isn't size, it's numbers. Hundreds move as one, each step landing in rhythm, like a deep drum echoing across the savannah. When food and water disappear, smaller groups merge into massive herds, a living fortress pushing through a sea of dry grass. Together, they form a wall, their most powerful weapon, but where there is prey, predators are never far. Through the hanging red dust, lions watch from the grass, eyes locked on the edge of the herd. The air thickens, heavy, still. Then, a roar shatters the calm. A lion charges, kicking up dust, but the buffalo don't flee. They turn. Black horns lower, muscles tighten, and suddenly, the hunter is airborne. The roles reverse. The prey becomes the force. The savannah vibrates with courage, unity, and sheer determination. When the dust settles, the lesson remains. Life here isn't defended by claws and teeth alone. It's protected by cooperation, the power that turns many into one, that turns vulnerability into strength. As the sun sinks over Luangwa Valley, the land tells its story in tracks and shadows. Elephant footprints, buffalo horn marks, tall giraffe silhouettes stretching across dry earth. Each species plays its part. Together, they keep this place alive. A cycle of strength, grace, and unity. As dusk settles over Luangwa, the land carries the marks of every life that passed through. Elephant tracks, buffalo scars, giraffe shadows stretched long across dry earth. Each species plays its part in a fragile balance. But not all survival here is about strength or numbers. If we listen closely and choose to protect it, Luangwa will keep breathing as Africa's green heart, a place where life endures heat, drought, and time itself. And somewhere beyond this valley, another story begins. One written not in power, but in speed. Across the endless plains of the Serengeti, where the sun pours fire onto golden grass, lives a creature built for one purpose alone, the cheetah, the fastest land animal on Earth. A living arrow released from nature's bow, capable of reaching highway speeds in just a few seconds. When a cheetah runs, the world seems to slow down. It becomes a golden blur, skimming across the savannah like wind over water. A masterpiece of motion. And yet, here's the irony. This icon of speed is also one of the most fragile big cats alive. Speed is its greatest weapon, and its greatest cost. Those black lines running from its eyes to its mouth aren't decoration, they're evolutionary genius. Natural sunglasses that cut glare under the brutal sun.
The cub's fluffy mantle provides the perfect disguise as it begins its journey.
Unlike other predators, cheetahs hunt during the day, not because they want to, but because they have to. Night belongs to stronger hunters, so the cheetah works under the brightest light, where its vision and speed give it a chance. This is the story of a specialist, an artist walking a razor's edge. Every part of the cheetah's body has been shaped for one thing only: speed. Its frame is slender, stretched as if by the wind itself. A deep chest houses a powerful heart. A narrow waist balances grace and control. But the real secret lies within. A flexible spine that bends and springs like a coiled engine, launching each stride farther than the last. Look at its feet. Unlike other cats, cheetahs can't fully retract their claws. They stay slightly exposed, like running spikes gripping the ground at full speed. And then there's the tail. Long, heavy, not for show.
what majesty, the brilliant light returns to the world.
At high speed, that tail becomes a rudder, swinging wide during sudden turns, keeping the body balanced at over 60 miles per hour. But speed demands oxygen, lots of it. Large nostrils, wide airways, powerful lungs. Every breath pulls in life at maximum capacity. It's easy to confuse a cheetah with a leopard until you look closer. Leopards wear rosette-shaped spots, symbols of strength and stealth. They climb, they wrestle, they rule the night. Cheetahs wear simple black dots, lightweight markings for a lightweight hunter. Two predators, two evolutionary paths. The leopard is muscle and shadow. The cheetah is motion and daylight. It cannot climb well, and it never challenges a leopard face to face. Wisdom, sometimes, is knowing when not to fight. The hunt begins. The cheetah moves low, blending into gold grass. Eyes lock onto a grazing antelope. The target is chosen. No rush. Under the blazing sun, the chase will be a dance. Then, the machine awakens. In seconds, the cheetah explodes forward, each stride precise, each breath measured. Not a battle, a pursuit shaped by instinct and restraint. When it ends, the cheetah lifts its head, chest heaving, breathing in dust, heat, and victory. For a brief moment, speed has won, but this is also the most dangerous time. The scent of the kill travels fast. From afar, lions approach. Slow, certain. The cheetah retreats not in anger, but in acceptance. Statistics tell us nearly half of a cheetah's kills are stolen before it can eat. Speed doesn't guarantee reward. Here, speed teaches humility, and for a mother cheetah, the challenge is even greater. Her cubs are born fragile, targets in a land full of eyes. Hyena and honey badger, two very different creatures, bound by the same rule of the wild. Here, in the heart of Africa, where the sun scorches the earth and dry grass turns red with dust, the savannah stretches endlessly, harsh, generous, fierce, and quietly patient. Every creature here plays a role, from tireless migrating herds to unseen cleaners of the land. Nothing is insignificant. No one is excluded from the cycle. Among them lives a species often misunderstood, silent, resilient, stronger than it looks. The hyena, a master of strategy in the wild. This is the lineage of Elena, a powerful female who leads not with noise, but with intelligence. In her world, order is not enforced by roaring dominance, but by discipline, awareness, and trust. From the moment her cubs hide in dark dens, they begin learning to read the wind, to memorize tracks, to move together. Every step becomes a lesson, every breath a reminder. Only those who understand the land survive here. Through dry seasons and floods, they grow under their mother's calm watch. They learn not just to live, but to lead. Hyenas don't need a ruler who shouts. Their strength comes from shared understanding. They communicate with looks, posture, sound, even silence. In hunger and hardship, they endure together. Over time, the clan grows, from quiet survivors into dominant forces. Buffalo, gazelles, even young elephants are no longer untouchable. They don't just hunt, they assert presence. Once dismissed as scavengers, hyenas reveal their truth. They are tacticians, masters at reading weakness, timing their moves, and reshaping the battlefield. Strength forged through unity, not brute force.
But the sudden noise has alerted predators lurking nearby. The hyenas emerge from the tall grass, tense and focused on the disturbance. As night falls, the hyenas
Under
begin
the
their hunt,
burning
disappearing
afternoon
into the
sun,
shadows of
the savannah holds a metallic scent, a signal only predators understand. A gazelle has fallen to wild dogs, and silence follows, the ancient call of instinct. From afar, the hyena hears it. She doesn't rush. She doesn't hide. She advances straight into the heart of the feast. 2 packs, 2 strategies, a collision of wills. Dust explodes, moments pass, and when silence returns, only the hyena stands. She has claimed more than a meal. She has claimed recognition, because true strength here isn't glory, it's persistence. Hyenas don't rely on claws or speed alone. Their real weapon is organization, collective intelligence, an invisible blade sharp enough to make even lions hesitate. Their voices travel miles, laughter in the night, low calls like a heartbeat across the land. Each sound, a signal. Each signal, a thread tying the clan together. Nothing is random. Every action has purpose. No one is left behind. This cooperation transforms a once despised species into one of Africa's most formidable forces. In a land ruled by survival, hyenas prove intelligence can rival muscle. They don't just endure the wild, they redefine power. And somewhere nearby, another fighter walks a different path. Small, quiet, unimpressed by danger, the honey badger. low to the ground. Thick fur, jaws built like steel. Lions, leopards, venomous snakes. It faces them all with the same calm stare, as if none of them matter. Its strength isn't size, it's courage, a refusal to retreat. Like the hyena, the honey badger survives by adaptation and will. It avoids conflict when it can, but when forced, it doesn't stop. Not recklessness, refined survival instinct, skin thick enough to endure punishment, a spirit stubborn enough to keep going. Even a beehive filled with pain won't stop it. Hundreds of stings, endurance, all for a drop of honey. Because here, courage opens paths no strength alone can reach. Different forms, one instinct. The hyena and the honey badger write the same story: resilience. Under the burning sun and swirling dust, they remind us, true power isn't size or speed. It's the will to rise, again and again. Thank you for walking with us through the wild. If you love nature and the quiet stories it tells, stay with us, because out here, the wonder never ends.